Welcome back, coin lovers and treasure hunters, to Rare Coin Legacy, the channel where everyday pocket change turns into jaw-dropping hidden fortunes, and where ordinary coins reveal extraordinary secrets. And today, you are about to hear one of the most shocking, controversial, and unbelievable stories in modern American numismatics, the legendary 2005 D1 cent that has stunned collectors, experts, and auction houses alike. A penny so mysterious and so loaded with rare minting errors and unbelievable production mistakes that some insiders whisper its potential value could soar as high as $15 million under the right conditions, a claim that sounds impossible until you understand the full scope of what went wrong at the Denver Mint in 2005 and how those mistakes collided with timing, materials, machinery, human error, and collector demand to create what many now consider a once-in-a-lifetime numismatic anomaly, because the 2005 D Lincoln cent was born during a period of intense transition, pressure, and experimentation at the United States Mint, a year when production volumes were massive, quality control was stretched thin, and subtle flaws slipped through that would normally be caught and destroyed, allowing a tiny number of deeply flawed coins to escape into circulation. And these are not ordinary errors, like a small off-center strike or a minor die crack. These are layered, compounding errors that stack on top of each other, multiplying rarity and desirability in a way that almost never happens. Starting with the most shocking possibility, a transitional metal composition anomaly, because although 2005 cents were officially supposed to be struck on standard copper-plated zinc planchets, there is growing evidence and strong speculation among high-level collectors that a microscopic number of experimental or leftover bronze planchets from earlier years may have been accidentally fed into the presses at Denver, especially during die changeovers or maintenance cycles, creating coins that weigh differently, ring differently, and age differently than normal 2005 D cents. And if a confirmed solid bronze 2005 D cent were authenticated, it would immediately place it among the rarest modern mint errors ever discovered, rivaling legendary pieces like the 1943 bronze cent. But composition alone is just the beginning of this coin's mystique, because many of the ultra-high-value 2005 D error examples are believed to feature dramatic double die obverse characteristics, not the weak machine doubling that collectors often mistake for value, but true hub doubling where the design itself was impressed multiple times at slightly misaligned angles, resulting in thickened letters on Liberty, a double date where the numerals appear to vibrate or split, and a powerful doubling on I In God We Trust that can be seen clearly even without magnification. And when such doubling occurs on a coin already suspected of having an incorrect metal composition, the rarity curve spikes exponentially. But the errors do not stop there, because some of the most talked about 2005 D cents reportedly show extreme die deterioration combined with die cracks, die chips, and retained cut formations that dramatically alter Lincoln's portrait and the surrounding fields, creating ghostly shapes, raised metal blobs, and distorted features that almost look like intentional design changes. And die deterioration errors of this magnitude typically indicate a die that was used far beyond its intended lifespan, something that happens when production demands override quality control, which was absolutely the case in the mid-2000s when billions of cents were being produced annually. But what truly pushes certain 2005 D cents into stratospheric valuation territory is the possibility of a multi-stage strike error, where the coin was struck more than once without being properly ejected, causing overlapping impressions, rotated designs, or even partial blockage effects where one coin impresses its design onto another. And imagine a 2005 D cent struck on the wrong metal, with true double dies, severe die cracks, and an off-center or double strike all present on the same coin. That is the kind of error convergence that transforms a one-cent piece into a museum-level artifact, because collectors are not just paying for a mistake. They are paying for a story frozen in metal, a moment when multiple systems failed simultaneously, and the Denver Mint mark itself adds another layer of intrigue, because Denver has historically been associated with some of the most famous modern-era coins due to its high output and heavy reliance on automated systems. And in 2005 those systems were aging, recalibrated frequently, and sometimes pushed beyond safe operational limits, increasing the odds of misfeeds, misalignments, and die clashes. Another critical factor that can make a 2005D cent insanely valuable is the presence of dramatic die clash evidence, where the obverse and reverse die is slammed into each other without a planchet in between, transferring elements of Lincoln's portrait onto the reverse or the Lincoln Memorial design onto the obverse. And while minor die clashes are somewhat collectible, extreme clashes that leave clear mirrored outlines are rare, especially when combined with other major errors. And then there is the possibility of a wrong planchet error involving foreign coin blanks or experimental alloy test pieces, because during the early 2000s, the Mint was actively researching alternative metals for coinage due to rising copper costs, and although most experiments were tightly controlled, history has shown that test planchets occasionally escape into production. And if a 2005D cent were struck on a foreign planchet or an experimental alloy blank with unique density and magnetic properties, its uniqueness would be unquestionable, pushing bidding wars into uncharted territory and condition plays an enormous role here as well, because while many error coins survive in poor shape, the theoretical $15 million 2005D cent would need to be preserved in exceptional condition, ideally uncirculated with sharp details, minimal post-mint damage, and clear visibility of all error characteristics, because elite collectors and institutions demand not only rarity but visual impact. They want a coin that instantly tells its story the moment it is seen, and authentication is the final gatekeeper, because only coins certified by top-tier grading services with detailed error attributions can command life-changing money. And the reason values can escalate so dramatically is because the supply is effectively non-existent, with perhaps one or two genuine examples believed to exist or potentially still undiscovered. And when ultra-wealthy collectors compete for a single trophy coin that completes a registry set or defines a generation of mint errors, price becomes almost irrelevant, turning a 1-cent coin into an asset comparable to fine art or rare gemstones. And this is why the 2005D 1 cent has become the subject of rumors, private offers, quiet negotiations, and whispered figures that sound unreal to the average person, yet make perfect sense in the rarefied world of elite numismatics. And the most thrilling part of this story is that unlike ancient gold coins locked away in museums, the 2005D cent began its life as ordinary change, meaning there is always the tantalizing possibility that another example could still be hiding in a jar, a drawer, or a forgotten roll of pennies, waiting for someone with knowledge and patience to recognize it, which is why you should never dismiss modern coins as worthless, because history has proven again and again that the greatest treasures often come from the most unexpected places. And as this story continues, we will go even deeper into the specific diagnostics, mint processes, collector psychology, and real-world auction dynamics that could turn a flawed 2005D penny into one of the most valuable modern coins ever imagined. And this is only the beginning of what makes this unbelievable cent so powerful. So stay with Rare Coin Legacy as we continue unraveling every hidden layer behind this legendary 1 cent that rewrote the rules of value itself.